As a product designer, I'm concerned about issues created by the Western world's materialistic culture. I started to explore the socio-ecological problems caused by the shipping of obsolete electronic products to developing countries. I traveled to Ghana, where tons of end-of-life computers, monitors and other electronic products are dumped. This is Agbogbloshie, a suburb of Accra, the capital, which has been the target of most of the electronic waste shipments. What in the 80s used to be a wetland is now a hideout for prostitutes and criminals. The locals have nicknamed the place Sodom and Gomorrah. People in Ghana have been steadily moving south towards Accra, looking for new opportunities in business. Some joined the scrap dealing business that is structured in strict hierarchies, where the children do not have access to school. This is Ibrahim, a 16-year-old boy. At the time I was filming, he was picking up copper from old CRT monitors. He sells it to his local scrap dealer. The way he retrieves the copper is like this, by burning the parts in an open pit fire. The plastic that insulates the wiring melts, creating highly carcinogenic fumes, especially hazardous to children. Common materials found in electronic waste, such as cadmium, lead and mercury, contaminate the soil and the water of the surroundings. These toxins have been discovered in soil and food samples, as these chemicals stay in the food chain. I traveled 800 kilometers north to see what the more traditional areas of Ghana were like. The bus journey took approximately 20 hours. Sirigu is a small village in the Upper East region of Ghana, close to the border of Burkina Faso. In Sirigu, I found a community of women that is responsible for preserving traditional local arts and crafts. There I met Faustina Nso. She showed me the local pottery making process, starting with the clay mixture. She uses clay that has been locally dug and mixes it with grog, which is a reddish type of ceramic material that is made out of ground-fired clay from broken pots. Faustina makes the pot base by rolling a ball of clay. She presses a hole that is 2/3 in the depth of the whole body. She then pulls the clay up using the same fingers, whilst she holds and rotates the body with the other hand. Once the opening is wide enough, she adds coils of fresh clay to the walls. With a piece of carved calabash, Faustina shapes and thins the outside and inside of the pot. In addition, she uses a cloth wrapped around a small stick of wood to make incisions in the vessel. This is my first attempt. The pots are left to dry for a day before the base is removed. When the vessels reach the leather hard stage, the surface is burnished with a pebble. Faustina started pottery making when she was 10 in order to pay the school fees. She was taught by her grandmother, and now she has a reputation of being an excellent potter within the Sirigu community. Finally, the pots were fired using the traditional pit firing techniques and blackened, placing the vessels on top of red millet. While they are still hot, a few are painted using natural pigments. Is there a way to process the materials found in electronic waste to create a dialogue that will criticize the practices of e-waste dumping whilst recognizing and innovating the local traditions and cultures? When I returned to Edinburgh, I decided to combine the traditional pottery techniques I learned in Sirigu with the useful elements found in e-waste. I processed 4 materials found in an old CRT monitor in order to incorporate them into the Sirigu pottery making process: copper, glass, circuit boards and ABS plastic. The ABS and circuit boards work as fillers, altering the clay body, similar to the use of grout. Once the circuit board is desoldered, the green ink is removed using acetone and the board is ground, obtaining a fine dust that can easily be mixed with clay by kneading, along with the ABS plastic. The copper and glass are processed to obtain a diverse palette of glazes that are applied to the ceramic objects once fired. The glass is extracted from the screen panel and is ground into powder. The copper pigments are the result of treating copper wire with oxidizing agents such as hydrogen peroxide and sulfuric acid. Copper sulfate, carbonate and oxide are mixed with glass powder and molochite clay in different amounts to create the glazes. Fiona Thompson is a ceramist based in Edinburgh. She uses a coil building technique similar to Faustina's. In addition, Fiona has adapted her technique to the use of a carved calabash tool that is typical from Sirigu, and it facilitates the shaping process of the vessels. This is the final product. Whilst this is not a practicable solution to the problem, it highlights the issue of e-waste export, and I want to show a fresh perspective on the value of these materials after they are discarded. Keeping traditional techniques alive may help to preserve the past and keep the future bright for those who are affected by our waste, both environmentally and culturally.